Has South Africa now become the poster child for money laundering, fraud, extortion, human trafficking, and every other thing? We already have problems with crime and gender-based violence. But I think now we've reached a level where criminal elements are now fully embedded in our society. The moral fabric, the moral fiber of our society has severely been compromised. And I don't know if we can ever get it back. You watch the Madlanga Commission and you see a young man, and I'm not trying to single him out, but I'll just give an example with him for now. Try to convince three of the top judges, a top advocate, and the general public that his actions of favoritism, actions of conflict of interest, actions where the public purse was actually not used well, it was misused. Basically, theft took place, and he's trying to justify it. Have we reached that point in our society that we can no longer distinguish right from wrong? That we can no longer distinguish, honest and dishonesty? That we can no longer distinguish between fiction and non-fiction? And you worry and you wonder that if criminal elements, illicit money, can go that deeply and affect so many people in a public sector, how long until maybe it reaches the private sector if it hasn't already? Now, bear with me here. In the news, we've seen a lot of, we've read and heard a lot of stories where some people that work for financial institutions have taken money from clients. Now, you would think that when you give a financial services company or a bank, whatever, money, that they would look after it. At no point do you think that that institution will defraud you. But because of this little thing that we have, that's called access, media access or social media access, where people are just living such extraordinary lives, we're all human beings, and at some point we're going to start comparing ourselves to that. And when the moral fiber, when morality goes out of the window, and we see people getting away with crimes, people getting away with murder. Yes, right now, certain people have to account for their actions. How long will it take until individuals who we trust with our resources, with our money, with our children's future, for them to act in the manner in what we've seen with regards to what's coming out at the Madlanga Commission? See, we've read in the news, we've heard all the stories, that FNB employee that gave the wrong financial advice and a client lost about 250,000. The lady in, I think it was in Bloemfontein, who 60,000, 70,000 went missing out of her Standard Bank account. And obviously we know the situation with regards to the vehicle fraud involving the highly qualified advocate. I'm just going to call her Dr. Quinn, medicine woman, with her and Standard Bank. And there are countless other cases that have been opened at police stations with regards to fraud. Now, I worry about the criminal elements because one way to deal with it would be law enforcement. But that in itself has sort of been captured. And this is no disregard to policemen and women. I fully support policemen, women, people in the army, teachers, nurses, civil servants, basically. I salute them all. But unfortunately is once you allow, let me put it this way, if you don't maintain your house, if you don't maintain your car, and you allow it to move closer to a stage of disrepair, it will become very, very difficult to fix it. And now as the public, we have to rely on this one gentleman, General Mkhwanazi from KZN, who now has to try fix the whole country. At the end of the day, he's a human being. We are now looking for a hero. We're looking for a hero in an environment that is collectively meant to protect all of us. But is this what we've become now? Have we become that state, that area that everybody now knows, listen, if you want to do wrongdoing, you can do it in South Africa? People that are wanted by the international criminal courts, people who have fled their countries, committing all sorts of crimes, are found in South Africa. And if people remember, we were on the grey list because there were so many financial transactions that were flagged. And somehow we were removed off the grey list. And with all that we are hearing today, I think we were moved off the gray list, not because people stopped doing crime or the illicit flow of money stopped in the country. It's because people legitimize their businesses. There's no other way. Individuals are asking about the CFO of Ekurhuleni as to why was he spending money on all these people and all these women and so forth, because that's a form of money laundering. All of these people have now sort of like legitimized their businesses. So all these transactions that take place, they go into business, into actual businesses and business accounts. And then you begin to wonder, the organs of state that are meant to protect us, people talk about crime and intelligence, how, yes, maybe they're doing their job, but it doesn't seem like there's enough communication with the public. The mainstream media in itself is afraid to even talk too much about these things, simply for the mere fact that, as I said, journalists can be targeted. There's just too much illicit money flowing for anybody to be safe. The more I think about it, the more I realize that AKA stood no chance. Because there's just people that are ready, that are on standby. Money is available to say, do this, get rid of this person, pay off this person. If this one doesn't understand, then send a message, make it loud, and make it bloody. Now begs the question is that if this type of conduct, if this type of misdemeanors, this type of illicit financial behavior now goes into the private sector, in which billions of South Africans have invested their money, they've got policies, and if heaven forbid something happens to us, I mean, life is quick nowadays, man. Life is very quick. So there's a high chance that many of us will not be around when our children become adults. Now, if we have trusted financial services to say, look after the money, look after this, look, what type of a society are we then leaving behind for them if this type of behavior continues, if it trickles down, if it goes across the spectrum? Because once illicit money is here, once people have said, I've created a business with this money, I own a petrol station, I own buildings, I do whatever, it is very difficult to get it out. And then it becomes a cartel, it becomes a sort of controlling mechanism. And our children will look at us and say, but okay, mom, dad, what did you guys do? So it is a very worrying situation. It really is, because we have put our trust. We have put our trust in a democratic dispensation. We have put our trust in government. But if government itself is incapable, or it seems as though it cannot get to the root cause, to the crux, to the nucleus, to the link of all of these crimes, it's only a matter of time before legitimate South Africans are then properly affected. You've seen how people would go to various townships in Gauteng with fake municipal papers and then try to get, grannies and grandpas to take out money to say, no, they owe the municipality money. You've seen how people have just taken over properties and just refuse to leave. You've seen how anybody who starts a business, irrespective of wherever they are extorted for money. They have to pay protection fee. You've seen with civil servants, nurses who are sent to, and teachers who were sent to remote parts. I knew it was happening. I know it was happening in the Eastern Cape. I don't know if it still is, but they go out there and then they are extorted. That is not a sustainable way of living, and we are slowly consuming ourselves with it. Now, I sincerely hope that this new operation of General Mkhwanazi can really, really uplift the police, can really assist. And as I said, General Mkhwanazi is one man. If anything happens to him, suddenly the morale of the country comes down, and then we're back to square one.